G'day, welcome back to the garden. Today my wife Melanie and I visited a communal garden in the city of Adelaide, or in its northern suburbs. Initially, allow me to apologise for the wind. It's a typical South Australian day. We're either being burnt to death or blown away. But what I thought I'd do is run you through the plants that I managed to pick up there, which was really good. And also discuss a few of those plans with you. But first of all, I thought I'd just go through the actual plants. We picked up a couple of raspberries. I haven't had berry fruit in the garden for a long time, so it'll be great to get back into raspberries again. A dragon fruit. Now, this one is desperate to get out of the pot, and I'm really excited about trying this again. There's a channel, go over and check it out, called Urban Bounty in Melbourne, where I think you can meet the undisputed dragon fruit champion. But later in the video, there's actually some segments, some film that I took from the communal garden that we went to today to show some superb dragon fruit flowers. So there's that. Also managed to pick up a couple of really nice mangoes. These are Kensington Pride, really nice seedling mangoes that have already come a long way. I'm going to be potting these up progressively and putting them into my new propagation hothouse area. In addition to that, there are a couple of like bargain bins. So there were some potluck things. This is a potluck grape. The variety has been lost. Got myself some more ginger in good nick, a really nice ginger plant. Melanie really wanted a mulberry, and there was some old black mulberry available, so some mulberry cuttings which are really nice. Some replacement lemongrass. Another potluck plant, a potluck fig. The communal garden we went to is called Joe's Connected Garden, and it has a fig circle. There's about 70 fig varieties on the property, so absolutely brilliant. So it'll be exciting times to actually work out what we've got there. We also got a black Maru grape. This is one of the things I was thinking about growing up in my special little beds here on the new patio roof, but there you go, black Maru. And also a quince seedling tree, again variety unknown, so we'll see how that goes, but we were lucky, they only had one of these, so we managed to pick that up, and it's something we've been looking for a while. A bit later in this weekend roundup, there's some footage of the gardens, so if you hang around to the end you can have a look at that. Some beautiful views, and I suggest you take it in. Anyway, on with the rest of what we've been doing this weekend. We've definitely fallen behind in getting some seed ready for the autumn, winter, spring planting period. So thought I'd spend some time getting some seed trays set up, some brassica, some lettuce, the things that we usually eat a lot of, and particularly things that we use for the animals on the property. So better late than never. On this really windy day, let's have a look at what we planted here. We've planted some Georgia Southern Collards. Planted them by watching a Hands in the Dirt video from America. So I'll perhaps put a link to that channel in the comments. Viking spinach, Savoy cabbage, Bloomsdale spinach. Want to get a lot of spinach in this year. Some Cimarron lettuce. I wanted to start with some of this because I've never tried it before. A lot of Cos lettuce. So we've got 5 punnets here ready with lettuce with Cos. That's because we have finches here quite a lot in aviaries, and they really love Cos lettuce. And some Snowball cauliflower. Sunday morning, really want to get started on my propagation area, and also just a few updates on some of the things that are growing in the garden. Want to get some more seeds in, do up a couple of beds, so there you go. Beautiful morning, overcast, cool, nice for this time of year. So we'll see how we go. These are our haricot beans. You might remember a while ago, back in sort of December, late November, I planted these beans from old seed that I'd collected some years before. I think it was about 2015. As you can see, they're growing beautifully well, and now we're starting to see some fruit. There you go, look at that. Some beautiful fruit starting to form on this. The main aim of this crop was for seed, not necessarily for eating. If I get a meal out of it, I'll be thrilled. But at the moment, here we go, I've tied this line up here so it could climb up further, and you can sort of see there the fruit's really starting to build up, so I'm really happy. This is the same batch of haricot bean seed that I planted in this pot here. You might remember that I planted some Australian butter beans and they failed quite badly, but in this case the haricots have done great. Down the bottom here, while I was digging out and cleaning out my beds that I'm refreshing, I found some potatoes that had shot, so I thought I'd put them in this pot. They can just live there and make it easy to harvest later on. The main job of the day I've got today is to try and take some of the dirt out of this bed and then start to modify the shape of it, because what I want it to be is a walk-in propagation area hothouse with beds, a keyhole bed built into it. So I can have my shelves above the growing areas, up and out of the way, so as water is draining down, it can drain down and to be used recycled into the actual soil itself. I don't need a huge amount of space in there, just places to keep, vulnerable plants, get seedlings started, things like that. So that's the plan for today. I'm using old poles that we've used for fencing in the past that have been collected as recovered materials. And what I'm going to do is they're going to go into the corners and be screwed into place, because the garden bed base actually provides the support that it's going to need. Some good sturdy screws in, and when the top timbers are put into place, it'll be really, really strong and wind resistant. Right, the first stage of the job's done. I've got my 4 posts into the bed. They're going to form the walls of the hothouse. The front layer of the bed has been taken off. That sleeper there is going to have to be cut and formed into the front walls of the bed, where the doorway is going to sit, and also to create the keyhole elements of the whole thing. To be able to finish building my new propagation area, I'm going to have to modify the length of this bed here. I've always wanted to have a long bed for a main crop. So unfortunately my trusty old corrugated iron bed here and my little homemade number are going to have to move. The bed here, I've actually done a few repairs to it because it was warping a little bit at the base, so I've just flipped the bottom sleeper there and screwed it back in. But this space needs to become active again. So the plan is that bed is going to be extended to marry up with the ends of the other wooden beds in the area. That'll make the path along the end here a little bit more useful for me as well. The first layer of the bed is in. I'm really pleased with that. There might be time for a cup of coffee, then the second layer added, and then I can start moving soil out of the bed that's going to be my new hothouse. It's going to be great. As you can see, I've been getting a lot of help here. Hey Bet, been helping, haven't you? Yeah. Second level's on now, so I'm really pleased with that. I can start transferring some soil over, getting that whole new long run bed planted up and ready for main crops. It's been a good morning's work. Yeah.
close enough.